It's been a long time since I rock and roll or did a podcast. Like Comics Covered, a comics culture podcast for the week of October 16, episode 89, where we don't talk about Led Zeppelin or rock and roll, but we talk about comic books. You're in the right place. We talk about those and the world around the comic books. The industry, the movies, the TV, the games. We'll also talk spoilers, and we'll warn you about them. I'm Jack. I'm not new to comics. I don't think...
It's kind of cool to be able to say that now.
I don't think we are. I
don't think we're that new.
I
mean, we're new in the broad spectrum of things.
Yeah, but we're new to a lot of things in the broad spectrum of things. We're pretty young. We're new to life in the broad spectrum of things.
Yeah.
The human race is new to existence in the broad spectrum of things.
True.
So
I think we're in the stage now that we can start converting people to comic bookdom.
Comic bookdom.
Yes.
I like that. No, I really like that
comic
idea.
Bookery.
Bookery. I like that better,
I like
honestly.
bookery.
I always get really... This is a tangent. I always get really annoyed when they call it mutantdom.
It just doesn't sound right.
Like, it's like their humanity.
Right.
Mutantdom. Like the T
or like they're
and the
dumb
D.
mutants. I know it's not spelled that way, but it sounds like it.
But am I supposed to pronounce the T and the D mutant dumb? Or am I supposed to go mutant dumb? Like, it just... I don't know. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, it's just very unclear.
So, yeah, that's the main issue that we're talking about today.
But yeah, I'm Samantha, and I'm pretty much in the same boat. I mean...
Yeah, we got a boat right here.
Yeah, not really.
Not really.
But I'm newer than Jack, but I'm still, you know...
Yeah.
Good.
You've gotten a lot. We've been reading a lot.
Yeah. As our guy at the comic book store said to Jack's sister as we brought her in, they spend a lot of money at this store. They buy everything.
I really didn't like that.
That made me feel a little bad.
You know, there was a time when I went into the store and I was like, I know I'm getting a lot of stuff.
I'm getting, wow, 5 books this week. Wow.
I know. And they're like, this isn't a lot at all.
Right.
But now I'm like, oh, okay.
You're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys. Well, to be fair, I see guys in there all the time with over $100 worth of books.
Yeah.
And it's this huge stack, and I'm like, motherfucker, how do you read that?
Okay, so then we're not the only ones.
We're not the only ones. Just like Sam Smith, I know I'm not the only one. So that was a different context.
Very
I guess.
different.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, we haven't done this in a little while.
We have not.
It's been tough, and a lot of things have happened.
Yeah.
Since our last episode. For example, you got a book at a bookstore. We wrote it down actually because you wanted to talk about it.
Oh yeah. So we went into this cute little store that had like lots of random things.
A lot of random things. What else was there?
They had that what is it called? A plant receptacle? What is the word? A pot. I guess it's just a pot.
A marijuana?
No.
Okay, no.
It was a pot that said, please don't die on it.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cute.
That was fun.
They had a plate with an elephant in a, like, cardinal suit or something.
A cardinal suit?
I don't know. It was, like, some, like, fancy suit.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have a lot of random stuff. But one thing we found was a book called Llama Phones.
Yes.
And it's a children's picture book teaching kids homophones through pictures of llamas.
A homophone being stare, as in I'm staring at you, or like I'm a stare walking upstairs.
So they, would draw a llama walking upstairs, and then for the other one, they would have like the llama's eyes super big looking straight at you. Mm-hmm. So it's a cute book.
It was fun.
We got it. It was only $5.
It's a
great find.
It's technically a graphic novel.
It is, and that's part of the reason why I got it.
An OGN.
Yes, and the woman as we purchased it said something that, I wonder if anyone with children has ever been asked this question. As we were purchasing it, the woman said, "Oh, who's your kid?" So we were very confused because we didn't know how to answer that question.
Well, yeah, because you say, "Oh, it's Joe down the street."
Yeah.
Or like, "Who's your kid?" He's the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Who's your kid? It's
or like,
Cyclops.
It's Dave who likes to pick his nose every once in a while. Like, what do you expect me to say?
Yeah.
So I was just like, "Oh, we don't have one." And she's like, "Oh." And then she proceeded to tell me how she likes to play with dolls. she was about 60 years old. That's fine.
That's fine.
But it was just a very strange intro to a conversation with who's your kid.
Did she say porcelain dolls?
No, she just said dolls in general.
Interesting. Yeah. That's fine. That's cool. She can do whatever she wants. But that's
if I had my Polly Pockets still, I would play with them.
Maybe, what if she thought that we played with dolls and we had a child that we chose and like it was a doll that she would recognize?
I don't know.
Who's your kid?
I don't know.
It's just a very strange question.
It was a very strange
question. Maybe
she
didn't think it through. Like, think what am I actually asking? I don't know. So I guess what we leave you with is, who's your kid?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like this philosophical thing. Like, what if we say, like, Jesus is my kid?
Also, if you have a kid, I would pick up this book, because you can teach them homophones pretty easily.
Actually, that'd be
pictures of llamas.
In a religious context, that'd be pretty shitty if you named your kid Jesus. Because in terms of religion, you literally have to sacrifice him by nailing him against a cross, right? Are we going into dark territory right now?
Yeah, too dark.
Sorry. I mean, that's literally what happened. So I'm not like, okay, we're done. Sorry. Samantha's giving me the cut it out noise.
Yes.
Can we call that the cut it out noise?
Cut it out noise.
Really awkward and...
One thing...
What?
Was Watchmen... aired on Sunday.
Damon Lindelof's new series, Watchmen.
We have yet to see it. It is on our DVR.
Yeah.
So we will watch it this week.
And big news story, Alan Moore gave it all its blessings and said, oh my god, it's great. I love this stuff.
He really did?
No.
Oh.
No, he would never do that in a million years.
Okay.
Love Alan Moore completely.
Yeah.
He's great.
Okay, I just thought it would be cool if he gave, like, this show a lot of praise since he, hated the movie.
Whoa.
And didn't want anything to do with it. I think that'd be really cool if he's like, nah, I'm good with the show.
No, he does not like any adaptation of any of his work.
And you know what?
Whatsoever.
That's fine. That's
okay.
perfectly fine. I probably wouldn't either. I'd be like, you guys are stealing my idea, and it's mine, and don't change anything about it, and screw you.
Well, I wonder if he'd be happier with this show because it doesn't adapt any of his work.
Right.
Well, I guess it plays off of it. But it doesn't adapt it directly. So I wonder what his opinion would be on it.
I think it's just like, oh, you're using my work for commercial gain.
Property.
And it's just...
Yeah, no.
I can get the feeling. It's an icky feeling.
It's very icky.
Ew. In the words of Jack, how he says ew. Ew.
Is that weird? You've never told me that's weird.
It's very weird.
This is the first time I'm learning about this.
Ew. Ew.
Ew. That's what I say.
No, you say ew.
Okay, well that's not... It's not fair and embarrassing. Okay. Speaking of Alan Moore, by the way, and adaptations of his work, I recently finished reading V for Vendetta for the first time.
Yes, finally.
I went in between liking it and not liking it as much. I think it had to do with which part of the book I was on, but I very, very much liked how everything ended in their character endings and how they progressed into that point. And I'm really interested to see how it's adapted into the movie, because that movie came out about 14 years ago at this point, and I saw it in theaters. So I would have been in like 7th grade, and I can only imagine how little I understood of that movie, actually. Yeah. I liked it, though. It was very fun. So I'm excited to watch that.
I am excited, too. It'll be interesting, since I wasn't, too fond of the Watchmen movie.
Yeah.
Because I liked it in book form better. So we'll see what I think of this.
Exactly.
Should be interesting.
Excited for the show, too. We haven't watched it yet. We'll try and review, like, the pilot or something, because I heard it was really great. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Samantha, it's been a long time since we rock and rolled, since we podcasted.
It has.
And a lot of things have happened in the comics world. So we're just going to talk about all the big news, not all of them, many of the big news stories that have come out since we last did a show. Because I've been amassing them on this rundown.
That's awesome. First
of all, Spider-Man was out of the MCU for a long time. Not a long time, months. Because Sony and Disney fell through on their deal. He's back.
Yay!
It's great. We're happy. He's back,
that
and I believe...
is great.
And I believe Disney went back on their first ultimatum offer, which was they wanted 50% of the profits, but now they're getting 25%, I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, they originally were getting like 5% or something like that, but they got all the merchandising.
Okay.
Or something like that. So, I don't know. It was a pretty good deal for Sony, but then again, they do own the character, so they don't have to make a deal at all.
True.
One thing that no one is talking about in terms of this, by the way, is that the statement that Kevin Feige released is I think a little bit cryptic, and I feel like, I don't know. He says he also, Spider-Man also happens to be the only hero with superpowers to cross cinematic universes. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold. The reason why I think this is very interesting is because, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this really awkward video when that was released with Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal, who's the head of this part of Sony Studios, talking in an interview about the upcoming movie Spider-Man Homecoming, the first time they had their deal together. Yeah. And Amy Pascal being excited about, all the Sony movies that Spider-Man is in or about, she sort of alludes to the idea that all of the Sony-owned Spider-Man films, like Venom, that's the only one they've made, but a bunch of other ones that they have planned, they own all those characters. She was alluding that they would be in the MCU. Oh. And Kevin Feige is just sitting there with this really awkward look on his face. He's like, I'm not going to say anything. They're totally not. Oh. Oh, yeah. It's hysterical. It's a great video. I'll show it to you. Okay. But with that in mind, it's interesting that he outright talks about their universe for Spider-Man and talks about what surprises the future might hold. I feel like a part of this deal is Sony is going to be able to have some more MCU relation in their movies, or the MCU is going to relate to those Spider-Man movies more. I have no idea if that's true, but that's a weird comment for Feige to make based off of that history of that video and everything like that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what the future might hold. Okay. Speaking of Kevin Feige, since our last podcast, Kevin Feige's role has changed at Marvel. Oh. You know the role that Jeff Johns... Maybe you don't. Jeff Johns on the DC side used to be the chief creative officer of DC. So he had a lot of overseeing in TV, movies, comics, a lot of shit. And now, Kevin Feige is seemingly going into a very similar role to that. He's going to have a lot of overseeing power over everything from movies, TV, to even the comics, I believe, is included in this. Even though those are still, I don't see that he's going to be controlling overly too much the comics, but who knows with this new role. Yeah. With that, you know who Jeff Loeb is?
Yes, of course.
Jeff Loeb.
I always thought it was Loeb.
Loeb. It might be Jeff Loeb. Don't quote me on that. Okay. You remember we saw him in a panel for Legion. Yeah. That's because he used to be head of Marvel Television. Oh. He is rumored today, I think it might have been confirmed today, that he is leaving that position at least. Oh. So, I don't know.
For a better one?
We have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's related to this change of role. It probably is. Mm-hmm. But that'd be too bad because Jeff Loeb, I'm sure, has done a lot of great work on that side of the fence, and he's a very talented man and knows how to make good comics. So, I don't know. Another interesting wrinkle of this is, have you ever heard of who Ike Perlmutter is?
No.
He's a guy very higher up at Disney who has been infamous in his negative meddling in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, okay. Why?
When the MCU first started, he had this committee of people that he ran that would decide all the creative notes in every single Marvel movie. And they weren't always to the benefit of the movie. Because of this committee, things like Ant-Man no longer had Edgar Wright as a writer and director. Thor 2 became a shitty movie, not that great of a movie, and Natalie Portman left because of it. Mm-hmm. Ike Perlmutter has been reported to have a very old school view of female roles in movies and of superhero movies in general, and it's not necessarily what makes the MCU great. So it is rumored that Kevin Feige is going to have even more control, and it's going to be wrestled more away from Ike Perlmutter with this move. So it's really good.
That is good.
Good. Yeah, so that's a big thing happening in Marvel. Another big thing that happened since we last recorded was New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
And a lot of things got revealed there. For example, in the new Square Enix game, Square Enix? Miss Marvel, they introduced as the protagonist of their Avengers game, which looks really cool. You saw the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember what her powers are?
No.
She makes she's basically kind of like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But she uses her powers in more of a I'm gonna make my fist really big and punch the shit out of you kind of way. And it looks super cool in the gameplay.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very excited. Other things that are very exciting coming out of New York Comic Con are Donny Cates and Nick Klein on Thor, starting in January.
Okay.
Super pumped for that. And then Al Ewing's taking over on Guardians of the Galaxy.
And when is that?
In January as well.
In January. Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty exciting. What else we got? Okay. Ant-Man's getting a third film. That's a short one.
Nice.
It's really great. In terms of movies on the DC side, The Batman by Matthew Reeves is a new movie. I don't know if you knew Robert Pattinson is playing Batman.
He is?
You didn't know that? He's playing Bruce Wayne.
Wow. Okay. I don't think I've seen him in anything except for Twilight.
Glowy skin vampire.
Yeah, so this will be interesting.
Yes. Can you imagine Edward saying, "I am the night.
No, I cannot.
am vengeance." No, I honestly,
imagine.
He's a very introspective looking person.
Yeah. And
I think he could do very, very well in it.
I guess. I just feel like he's kind of soft looking. You know?
I mean,
not chiseled, not chiseled is the word I'm looking for. Grizzled, maybe?
Maybe, but he's also supposed to be younger in this movie.
Okay.
So, it's a movie that's supposed to be more of a mystery, I guess, playing on the detective notes of the Batman, which is pretty cool. Also cast is Paul Dano as the Riddler. Do you know who that is?
No.
Do you remember in the movie, you've seen Little Miss Sunshine?
Yes, but so long ago.
You know
I was probably 15.
You know the brother who doesn't talk and has the black hair?
Yeah.
That's Paul Dano.
Okay.
He's in other movies like There Will Be Blood.
Uh-huh.
He's the young priest guy. He's in... I don't know. Paul Dano is a fantastic actor, and
cool.
I think he's perfect for the Riddler. It's great. I don't know. It would be very, very cool to see him. And then a woman named Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I don't know who that is, though.
I recognize the name. I just forgot who she was.
I don't either. Isn't Kravitz a Jewish name, though?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know if she is, but it is the Jewish name.
Well, she stole it then. Well, I guess she could have married someone.
Yeah.
Or someone could have married someone at some point. Yeah. People do that. We're doing that.
What's the musician? Is it Lenny Kravitz?
Oh, Lenny. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
Maybe she's related.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What if everyone is related? I mean, I guess they are.
Yeah, they are.
Sorry, I'll stop. Okay, well, that's... Oh, I'm sorry. I needed to say this, too. So DC had a meeting about their comics.
Okay.
A big executive board meeting. And they decided a good thing. They decided that we need a new generation of heroes in DC Comics. The old generation is still going to be a big part of it, but the new generation should be our focus and building new characters and new mantles. So part of that conversation was discussing who takes over the role of Batman after Bruce Wayne is too old.
Doesn't he have a son?
He does have a son, but that's not necessarily the direction they're going. They are going with Luke Fox, who I guess plays a character named Batwing.
Okay.
He has a bunch of gadgets, and he is Lucius Fox's son. Do you know who Lucius Fox is?
No.
He's a guy who works at Wayne Corp. Wayne Enterprises. I'm sorry, it's LexCorp. Yeah. Wayne Enterprises, and he develops a lot of gadgets for Batman. Luke Fox is basically an amalgam of Batman and Lucius Fox.
Okay.
It's cool.
All right.
And then Superman, they want to make John Kent into Superman, his son.
Okay, see, that makes sense.
They recently aged John Kent up to a teenager status.
Oh.
And he's going to be joining the Legion of Superheroes. So I guess the idea might be that he's going to grow up there and maybe come back and be Superman.
Nice.
I don't know. It was an interesting thing, that meeting. They also said or alluded to the fact that the comics are taking place in the 90s.
Oh.
Even though people have, cell phones and all over the place and smartphones and yeah. Little weird.
That is very weird.
So Twitter exists in the 90s.
Okay.
So it's fun. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. It's kind of like do you read your comics?
Right.
At all?
Right.
Who knows? But exciting stuff. If they're, honestly, I don't know, what is your opinion on them trying to put, in the role of Batman, if you had the Batman monthly series, what's your opinion on them putting, Luke Fox, this relatively unknown person?
I mean, no, given the background of who his father is, I think it's an interesting choice. And it kind of makes sense for the detective-y, gadgety kind of man.
Yeah.
So I like that. I think that the thing that throws me off the most is the 90s with...
Yeah.
I just think that that's... So you're saying that they're going to have things like cell phones in there, but call it the
90s. They apparently see the current stories in DC continuity happening in the 90s. They don't want to keep it there, I don't think. I didn't read too much about that. It was just a little tidbit that I saw that was really funny to me. But what do you think about the general idea of putting different people in these roles and focusing on different characters as apart from Bruce Wayne or Clark Kent?
I don't know. There's two schools of thought. You either keep it the same or you move forward and change it up. So a lot of people want that, what's the word?
Safety?
Yeah, the safety of, when they're reading Batman, they know who he is and they know what to expect, kind of. And then there's people who are really up for change, and I think it's just dependent on the person. So I think they're going to get a good amount of people who are not okay with it and feel really weird about it. Yeah. And then some people are going to be like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I haven't read it for that long that I feel so attached and ingrained. I mean, I feel ingrained enough because I've known who Batman is, since I was a kid, but I don't know. I think it's exciting. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
It's all about the execution, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they do it. I hope it's not going to be one of those things where it's they do this for a year, maybe, and then they just have a crisis and goes back to normal.
Like I said, I feel like a lot of people who read comics like the safety.
Yeah.
So it might not sell very well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And that could happen to get sales back. They might do a thing like that, the crisis, and go back.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Exactly. And that's always my problem with making creativity into business. They're always at odds.
I have a great example.
What?
I actually don't know how well it did though. So at a coffee company, a large coffee company.
Okay. Are you not going to name the company?
I mean, I can.
You don't need to.
Okay.
Don't give them business.
So they released a new espresso that's a very light espresso.
Okay.
Called Blonde.
Okay.
And espresso is known to be dark, like a dark roast kind of thing. So a lot of people, I feel like, were put off by it. Mm-hmm. But I was probably wrong because a lot of people got it. But I was one of those people who was like, you know what? I am very against it. I think it's wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
I think it's wrong. If you're saying espresso is a dark roast, we want to make it blonde for, the reason was so it doesn't taste as strong. But then don't have espresso. So I don't know.
You're gatekeeping is what you're doing.
I am?
You're gatekeeping espresso. You know what that is?
No.
It's when someone you're not allowing certain people to enjoy the thing.
No.
Because they're not doing it right in your eyes.
No, it's not that they're not doing it right. It's that if you ask someone, I want to make espresso, what bean should I get? They'll say any dark roast.
Okay.
That's what they'll tell you. That's how you make espresso. So it's just the fact that they're like, yeah, it's a light one. So it doesn't taste as strong. Screw you. Then don't don't have it. I don't know. So I can see, again, how people can feel that way about, if you don't like Batman, then don't fucking read Batman. But this is who Batman is. So I feel like some people may have a strong distaste for that change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just my rant about coffee.
Yeah.
A little bit related to that. Small one.
No, it was related. I can understand where you're coming from in that.
Yeah. I just feel like there's going to be people as passionate about that as I am about this coffee thing.
Bruce Wayne is dark roast espresso.
Yes.
And Luke Fox is the blonde espresso.
Yes.
In your eyes.
I will never try it. But I will read this.
Okay. Yeah. I'm so happy. That's great. No, I mean, honestly, it's not even that they're not going to make more comics with Bruce Wayne as Batman. They're going to. They have to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's cool that they're going to put some gusto behind this. And if they actually get good talent to write it, there's no reason why people shouldn't buy it, except for irrational things like what you just said.
I don't think it's irrational. I think it's human.
Sorry.
I do. Like you said, it's the safety thing. It's the thing you know, and when you change the thing you know, you either are excited about it, or you're scared, or you're just avoid it, which is kind of scared. But, yeah.
No, I can understand. You're right. I feel you. It is totally human thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, another human thing that happened this week is that we got comics.
Yes.
As humans.
And
we want to talk about them. It's going to be a fun time. Well, no, not sorry. I was going to say give us a spoiler warning, but it's not yet. We're not spoiling yet, so don't worry.
Not yet.
Samantha, do you want to read off what we had this week?
Yes. Was this week our big week, or was it the week prior?
We haven't had a big week in a couple weeks,
I feel like every week has been a big week.
I know. It's been bigger than when we started.
Yeah,
but this wasn't too big. We are actually recording on a Tuesday today, so you'll probably get this on Wednesday. So this is what we had last week on the 16th.
Yes. So we had Absolute Carnage number 4.
The penultimate.
The penultimate. That's one of my new favorite words. Quick side note. I forgot which comic I was reading. Okay. Do you remember? I was telling you I was reading to my dog, Stella.
Okay.
And I was telling her, Stella, this is the penultimate issue.
Aww.
And it was really cute.
Did she say, oh, yeah?
No, she just kind of looked at me and was like, can you just continue petting me? I don't care what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. We have Absolute Carnage versus Deadpool number 3. Was this the last one?
That was the last of the tie-in, yeah.
Okay.
Well, because he had to... Well, I won't say the spoilers, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Gideon Falls, number 17. Guardians of the Galaxy, number 10.
The penultimate.
Penultimate. Inferior 5, number 2. Justice League, number 34. Something is Killing the Children, number 2. X-Men, number 1. And then I had Strayed, number 3.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. This was the first week that I had something that was just for me to read. Because usually Jack has like 1 or 2 that, he reads.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I remember my first time when Doug and I were doing this, my first book that I read alone was She-Hulk by Marika Tamaki. Yeah.
But you didn't continue it.
I did.
You did?
I continued it for her whole run.
Do we have it? Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's in storage. It's not, like, amazing, but it's good. I liked it.
Alright.
I'd probably like it more now, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Jennifer Walters in general, and I want to learn more about her. I think it's great.
Yeah.
She's a lawyer. She's kick-ass. It's great. Cool. She was one of the main reasons I was still reading Avengers by Jason Aaron.
Cool.
But too bad. Okay, well, let's give a spoiler warning here. Samantha, would you do the honors? Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was...
I know it's the same thing I do every time.
No, I know. The same rendition of the ring-tailed lemur mating call.
That's what I was going for.
Thank you. I'm glad.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
I will pick up anything you put down. Except for that.
Okay.
So, before we get into our books that were from last week, we wanted to talk about a couple that were exciting from weeks before. One of them was White Trees number 2 by Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka.
And I was very pleasantly surprised with the way they could wrap up They could tell a whole story and wrap it up in 2 issues, and it felt complete.
Yeah.
And that's a very, I feel like that's a hard thing to do. And, yeah, I was impressed.
Well, it feels hard, but I feel like it feels hard because we're so used to so many series going on for so long and them dwelling on every single thing. But I think it's so nice to have a 2-issue story.
It is. Beginning, middle, end. But it feels like they could do so much with it.
Yeah, but they don't have to.
I know they don't have to, but there's so much that could be done with it.
I know. I really appreciate White Trees because it was 2 issues, Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka working together in a great way doing this fantasy story about war, family, retribution. It was just so concise and I think so clean that I'm so happy with Chip Zdarsky's move from just comedic books to this wide breadth of storytelling that he's grown into and working with great artists like Chris Anka. And I was such a fan of this one.
I mean, I was a little disappointed we didn't get more peen in this one.
More penis.
Yes. I like the word peen. But we got it in the first issue, but we didn't get it in the second. But that's okay, because we got it in half of it.
It's okay. And also, you did watch the movie Watchmen right after reading this.
Yeah. So I saw a lot of blue peen.
A lot of blue dong. Hanging dong lots. But yeah, other than the dong, great series. Would highly recommend it.
How are they going to put it together? Are they going to just have like a small trade thing?
I think they would just have a small trade.
Or what if they create more stories together and put it in like a big book and then have like short stories in that?
Maybe.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be really cool. If they, who knows? The other one that we were excited about was Man-Eaters, number 12.
So we finished it.
Yeah, the end of that series by Chelsea Kane and Kate Nietsch. Don't fucking ask me to pronounce it. I'm sorry, Kate. You're great. I don't know how to pronounce your name, though.
Yes.
Chelsea Kane, I know how to pronounce your name.
Yes.
What did you think of Man-Eaters? Can you... Okay, you hate when I do this. I'm just going to do it. Man-Eaters is a book...
I mean, I can do it.
Okay, do it, please.
I mean...
You know what it's about. What's it about?
You said it to so many people in such a concise form, and I feel like it's hard to say it in a concise form, but it's basically... like, I'm making fun of a man's view of what women are like when they get their period.
Yeah.
And their menstrual cycle. And so this story is about suddenly there's like this outbreak where when women are starting their menstrual cycle at, age 10 13, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, 13's kind of old for it.
Sorry, I'm not a girl.
Okay. Yeah.
You're the one with experience.
Yeah. So when they start their menstrual cycle, that they turn into man-eating, large cat-like monster. Is it like it was like a jaguar or something? Like this large jaguar.
They're murderous cats
that just kills everybody. And so they were introducing, like, in the schools that the girls were drinking different water. That was it estrogen that they were pumping it with? So like estropop. I
believe they had estrogen in their stuff, and all the stuff that the guys would drink was estrogen free.
Right. So they like separated the boys and girls with that stuff. If they found someone to have their period, they would send them off to
like these re-education camp things.
It reminded me of Passages Malibu, which is like the place they send people with addiction, and it's this beautiful retreat-like place. But in this sense, they made it look like a beautiful retreat place. But when they got there, it was more like a prison-y type concentration camp-esque.
Yeah, where they're basically learn to feel ashamed of their bodies and their periods.
Yes.
Which, people like Chelsea Kane and anybody really would say people do all the time.
And how would you explain So not every issue was about the story. Some issues were... Like, a lot of them were advertisements.
There were 4 issues in this series, 12-issue series, that were just like posters and advertisements and like world building guides. Yeah. Some things like talking about how to play a game with a tampon.
Yeah.
Like those were probably the funniest part of this entire series.
Yeah, it was just, they were so creative in what they did and so funny, and it just like, I don't know, reading it as a woman, you're just like, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, it's a good feeling to have someone like her, like, being able to have a voice, and I know a lot of men are not fans of hers, but...
let's not bring it to men. There's a vocal minority of the comics
some women too.
Fandom. Okay, yes, it's probably men.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it's not all men, so we shouldn't just say men.
Okay.
It's a vocal minority of comics.
Yes, that women should not have a voice in things like comics.
Well, they are specific to Chelsea Kane. She's gotten a lot of flack from this vocal minority, and it's not fair whatsoever.
It's not fair at all. So, yeah, I got this originally, we got this originally, because we wanted to support her.
Yeah.
And be like, fuck you to everyone who, you know, treated her poorly.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad we did, because I really enjoyed it, and my mom is reading it.
Yeah.
She loves it. We're trying to get other people to read it.
Definitely.
It's a great story.
It's
not that it's a well done story. It's that it's
important.
It makes you feel good. It's funny. It makes you feel not retribution, but just here's
the way I think that it's most beneficial. Like, I feel like it made me way more aware of this particular like way that women are made to feel.
Yeah.
In such an entertaining way.
Yeah.
I will be the first person to say that I hate it when I'm hit over the head with a message. And to be fair, it's very clear about its message. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it does it in so many creatively hysterical ways that I'm along for the ride. Mm-hmm. As much as I don't think it's a very well constructed story.
But it didn't have to be.
It didn't have to be. It might have helped it.
It might have helped it, but it also might have taken away from the humor of it all.
Maybe.
I don't know. I just feel like for what it was trying to do, I think it was perfect for what it was.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think a little. It could have been the storyline could have been told in a more direct way over the course of like in the midst of all the advertisement things, all the cool world building that they did. Hysterical world building. But all in all, it was an enjoyable experience, and I would recommend it to people. I would especially recommend it to anybody who has a girlfriend or anybody who is a woman in general, because I think it puts like those feelings in, I don't know, the best way. Why am I talking about it? Does it actually do that? It puts those feelings in a really great context?
It definitely does, because I remember, like, you know, when I was in school and I would suddenly get my period and it would show through, and I felt like horrible, and you know, like people are gonna make fun of me and be mean to me, and I shouldn't be made to feel that way.
No,
because I'm a woman and it's a natural thing that every woman gets, and I think this was a great thing to show you guys of like, look, this is what we have to deal with, and we really are made to feel shamed by it. We really are.
Absolutely.
And it's really sad.
It is. It's just blood.
It is just blood.
It really
is.
And
it's not our fault. It's not like we choose to have it.
I don't understand. No. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people... Well, okay, maybe we shouldn't get into this. I'm not going to start talking about the specifics of it, I guess.
Okay.
We can.
Well, what are you trying to get at?
I'm just trying to say, I feel like there are a lot of people out there that would be more grossed out by blood from a period than like blood from a person.
Oh, definitely. And that's weird. That's the whole thing. If I was at school and got a cut on my arm, I'm sure a boy would come up to me and be like, "Oh, can I get you a Band-Aid?"
Yeah.
But if they see me bleeding through my pants, they're not going to be like, "Oh, can I get you a pad?" They're going to just make fun of me.
Yeah.
So that's the difference of like what this book kind of showed, what we all go through. And what we have gone through in the past. And
that's an education problem too, though. Guys aren't nearly educated
It's an education
enough.
problem, but at the same time, I feel like they're told and they just don't care.
Yeah.
I think that's it. They don't
understand
care.
that. Or are they programmed to not care? By people.
Who knows?
Let's move on.
Anyway,
it's
great book.
Man-Eaters by Chelsea Kane and Kate. Kate N.
Yes.
She's great. Let's talk about some stuff that came out last week. X-Men #1. We made it through 12 issues of House of X and Powers of 10. Mm-hmm. What do you think coming out of that, going into X-Men? I mean, to me, it was a lot different. You know, it was
very different.
It didn't feel like what I thought X-Men was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you're a new X-Men person. What is the difference between your experience of, like, the series before the House of X Powers of 10 compared to how you're reading this one? Anything?
Well, this is I feel like everything before was like background information.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, now we're here. And so it kind of just like gave the background of what Krakoa is and certain characters. And now it's just like, yeah, now we're here. And there's a group of, I guess they're people, just people who have genetically modified themselves.
Yeah.
That are trying to get rid of mutants and the mutants. So there's like...
Well, okay, wait.
Right?
So at the beginning of this book, we got these Orcus people.
Yeah.
Those are just humans.
Okay.
They're just legit humans, and they're trying to build machines like Sentinels and things that fuck over mutants.
Right. But they were able to turn into apes?
Yeah, they turn themselves into apes.
So that's why I'm saying they're genetically modified, because how can you do that without being...
I think, because he's injecting himself with something. I think they...
Okay, so they like created a serum that... I would
love
love
to
to do
gorillas.
that. I want to do that.
Doesn't look like they have sentience, though.
I want to be on their side.
But, yeah, they get through the stronghold. They meet this random... I was going to say black woman, but she's not like that. She's just shadowed and not drawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she says that's a post-human. And post-humans are the genetically modified ones.
Okay.
So this is what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
They don't worry about that all too much, though.
Yeah.
But a lot of this is them coming back to Krakoa and them celebrating like the return of the team, the Strike Force, and Magneto in particular. Mm-hmm. And then we have a nice family dinner with the Summers clan plus Wolverine on the moon.
Yeah, why was Wolverine there?
Wolverine has known these people for a long time, I guess.
Okay, he's just a really good family friend.
He's a really good family friend. Also, I'm pretty sure everyone is deftly aware that Jean Grey, and Cyclops are having threesomes. But probably not.
They just share the same woman.
They share the same woman.
It's weird.
It is very weird. I don't know what is going on, but it's becoming more and more like a sex cult every day.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's just going to be sex men. It would be great.
Sex men.
It would be very fun. XXX men.
Yeah. I like sex men better.
You like sex men? It's cleaner.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did you like the family dynamic that was here? Did you feel like it was too slow? Did you feel like it's exactly what you want?
I felt it was... I don't know. This felt a lot slower than the other stuff was, for sure.
Yeah.
As I said, it felt like background, here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this felt kind of like a... Okay, we're in one place.
Yeah.
We're just talking about this. This is great. I can follow it easily.
So you like this more?
I liked the reading experience more.
Okay.
But, I mean, we haven't seen enough of it yet.
Yes.
You know, I really love the last 2 issues that we read of the previous thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. But I liked this.
What do you think of Leinil Francis Yu on art?
Let me look through it a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no. Go through it. I really, really like it. I
like the art a lot, actually.
I think it's a really cool style. There's a lot of really great facial acting that he does.
Yeah.
And I just think he draws the characters in their, like, iconic looks.
Yeah.
And
I just want everything to be painted. But I do really like it. Sorry.
You should read Bill Sienkiewicz stuff. He is a guy that drew a lot of, like, New Mutants. Him and Chris Claremont did New Mutants together, and that's a big deal. We should read that. Yeah, Bill Sienkiewicz, you would really, really enjoy. I'm not sure if it's exactly painted, but...
It's that kind of feel.
It's a feel.
Okay, cool.
It's a feel. I really liked X-Men. Like you said, I think we've had so much background, and
it was just like, it felt like, you know, those crash courses that you take in like the 6 weeks that's supposed to be a year's worth of material. Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Yes.
Like, just get all this information crammed in as quick as possible, and now you're at the course you tried to get to.
But I do feel like now, like, I feel like there's a marked change in the feeling of, like, now we are starting a story, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think it's cool how they did it. I'm excited to see all this stuff. You know, next week we have another one of these done of X books. We're going to get all the number ones, and we're going to figure out which ones we actually care about, which ones we don't. So, Stick here to see what that is. Okay, let's move on. Another big story that's going on is Justice League, number 34. Which, by the way, I didn't tell you about this. Scott Snyder announced his exit from Justice League, which will happen at... I don't remember.
I mean, I'm happy about that, because I want him to do other cool stuff.
He's been doing this for 34 issues, and that is a lot.
I like his other stuff, like independent stuff.
Now, do you dislike...
No.
Tell me about your experience of Justice League.
It's not that I dislike it. It's just that I like the way he writes his independent, like his own stories better. Yeah. That's just...
Well, you like Scott Snyder's Batman, too.
I do. Yeah, but I felt like that was... Honestly, I felt like that was a lot more his own vision. This doesn't feel as much his own thing. It feels like he was told kind of what to do. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
You should have read Dark Knight's Metal.
Oh.
It was... Like, okay, I think with Scott Snyder, I think he's a fantastic artist, and I think he gets really, really excited.
Yeah.
I think that excitement is best put on the page when it has some limitations. Because, like, even with Batman, you're going to get to the end of his Batman run at some point, and it gets a little nuts.
Yeah.
It gets a little really crazy.
Yeah.
And... I just feel like I like him on restrained things because I feel like it focuses him on developing his characters and giving really great moments. And I don't know, I've really, really enjoyed Justice League.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of an anime. I saw that comparison. It's like very anime. It's very like all this shit like is going on all the time.
That specific panel of who's that?
Oh, yeah, Starman. That's Starman, what's his name? Ted Knight.
Yeah. So he's giving this really constipated look. That was my favorite part of this issue. He's just like, get it out!
Thank you, Bruce Redondo. Yeah. Or I think that's actually Howard Porter. That's Howard Porter.
Yeah, I really like that.
Hey, the Starmen were working really hard. Okay?
Really hard.
Really hard. But yeah, no, I've loved the art in this. It's really, really cool stuff. It's just a lot going on. Like, I'm on the same page. It's just like...
Yeah.
Whew! Lots of colors. Lots of everything.
Yes.
But I've enjoyed it a lot. Like, it's very great. There's some great moments. We got Hawkgirl playing the role of Starlord in Avengers Infinity War. Hitting too early.
Yeah, that was really annoying.
Getting stabbed in the back.
Well, she deserved it. She was being annoying. Like, girl, you made a commitment to do a job, and you let your emotions stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Would you, like, I feel like I'm going to want to, would you want to read this run all the way through at some point? Like
again?
I just feel like some ways it would read a lot better.
Yeah. I think it would a lot. Honestly, and I was telling your sister this.
Oh, what?
We saw his sister... yesterday.
She came into town.
Telling her all about comics and our views on them. And I was telling her the difference between like reading in issue format and reading in book format, like in a trade. And honestly, I think most storylines I feel like are better read in trade because you don't forget what happens. Because like we read a lot, you have your life going on. And you read a book, and then a month later, you read the next chapter of it, and you're like, I don't remember what just happened, and I don't have time to go back and read it. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. For me, I enjoy the experience more, reading it in a trade, because it just is a more cohesive way of doing it.
It's more complete, and I get that. I don't know, there's a part of me that really enjoys the art of making a single issue, like making a single chapter, like crafting that one thing.
But I understand it takes so much to make, a thing, and they can't have it out like every week or something like that.
Of course not.
Which I totally get. But that's where it's different. We're watching a TV show, and you don't really forget what happens in a week. In a month, you forget. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference.
So are you saying that throughout the entire House of X Powers of 10, you didn't forget one thing?
I forgot a lot because, as I said, it was like a freaking crash course.
No, I know. I'm kidding. Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just feel like you go back and read it at some point, and then you catch things you didn't before.
You do, but who has time to go back and read all that?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, yeah, you're right. Hey, DC Universe app, that's what it's there for.
For when you're on the toilet.
For when you're on the toilet, exactly. Honestly, it's been great for on the toilet. I love that shit.
Yeah. Speaking of that.
What?
What I've been reading is Batman from the 1940s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That is extremely interesting. What can I go in about that?
Can we pause for a second? Because we have one more book to say for this week.
Yes.
And I would love to talk about this after that. Just as a brief nice little, what are we reading outside of it?
Okay.
So, our next book from the weeklies is Strayed number 3. I've read the first issue of Strayed, and I haven't read the last 2 because I didn't like it that much. I thought it was okay. It's a book about a cat who has a power of astral projection, and evil government people want to use him for nefarious gains. Mm-hmm. Samantha, you've been reading all 3 of these issues.
Yeah.
I want you to convince me to read this book.
I don't know. What would you do that?
Okay, don't convince me. How would you sell this book to someone? What
do you like cats?
Yes.
Do you hate evil people?
Yes.
Do you love beautiful art? Yeah. I mean, it has all that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like the story is definitely getting more interesting.
Okay.
And you're starting to root for certain characters, and you're starting to hate some characters, which is really good.
Okay. Is there a specific character that you have the strongest emotional reaction to, or the most gripping?
Yes.
Who?
I forgot what his name is, but he's the boss. I forgot what he is.
Is he the main antagonist?
He's like, I mean, there's a big group of the bad guys.
Okay.
And he is supposed to level up, basically, to their level. But he's like, yeah, I just need another year to get to our goal that we've set.
Okay.
But I don't know how to explain it. Like, in this, he speaks one thing to his superiors, and then he has, like, this evil plan that's secretive.
Okay.
And he's just a really interesting character. And so, yeah, they're just starting to introduce things like that and make the world more
vibrant, full, real.
Yeah, you're just starting to care, and it has all the elements that I described earlier.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's a necessary book to read. I think it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And beautiful to look at. And yeah, and not supposedly, there is a soundtrack that you're supposed to listen to.
Have you done that?
No. I keep forgetting to do it, because at the end of the book it says, like, oh yeah, listen to this. So I forget. I gotta remember for the next issue.
Is it always the same?
I don't know. I think it's different.
Oh, wow.
I think it's like different tracks or something.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I always try and do that. Like, I don't know why they would have it at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have a soundtrack, like, I need to know.
But again, that's the same thing with the issues. You forget.
No, but
if it was weekly, or if it was right away, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it for this next one. But it's a month later, so I forget to do it.
Wait, so the soundtrack is for the next issue?
I don't know, because I haven't listened to it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's one thing for the whole thing, or if it's for each issue.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll report back.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are our weekly books. We will not talk spoilers, except for about 40s Batman.
Yes.
What do we got coming out literally tomorrow? Or today, because if you're going to listen, you'll probably listen, on Wednesday. Because that's when it's going to be virtually released on Wednesday. we got coming out tomorrow some exciting things. Ascender number 6, Detective Comics number 1014, Immortal Hulk number 25, which I'm pretty sure is Hulk in Space. We got Justice League Dark number 16, Martian Manhunter number 9, Action Comics number 1016, and the next Dawn of X book, Marauders number 1, which I'm really excited to read.
Yeah.
Never heard of them. So Samantha, you wanted to talk a little bit about 1940s Batman. What do you got?
I just wanted to say that it's very different from the Batman that I've read. Yeah, there are things like Batman kills people.
Legit.
Yeah, or Batman sees one of his enemies die and is really happy about it. Batman is misogynistic.
What? Oh yeah, what does he say?
I mean, one thing I took a picture of was he was cleaning the makeup off of, I think it was supposed to be what was Catwoman.
Oh.
And then so she's like, "Let go of me," and he's cleaning the makeup off, and he goes, "Quiet, or Papa spank."
Oh, wait, legit?
Yes.
Quiet or Papa spank?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I don't know if I took a picture of the other one, but it was basically saying that he let Catwoman go because she's pretty.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where Tom King got his whole idea for the... No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe. But yeah, so it's been really interesting and I really enjoy it because it's just fascinating to see how different
it's developed. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this famous panel of Batman slapping Robin in the face too that people use for memes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's very funny. That's just so weird that it's gone to this point. I mean, is that based off of sales, you think, or is it based off of what?
I think it's
artists?
just changing of the times and what's PC and what's not. And
Yeah.
they're probably like, okay, maybe we should have him be this way and appeal to more people. And yeah, I don't know.
But it's so cool to see.
It's very cool to see.
It's on the DC Universe app.
It is.
Check it out. We were trying to find Detective Comics issues that were before Batman, and they don't have any on there.
They don't. They have the one that introduces Batman.
Yes.
But none before that.
It's so sad because, like, I want to see what it was like. Like,
I know.
Why did they just randomly have something about Batman?
We're just gonna have to find it at some con or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, oh, and one other thing. I read this past weekend The Black Orchid by Neil Gaiman and Dave McKean. And it was pretty good. I liked it. I'm now reading starting the Sandman series because it's Halloween by Neil Gaiman, and it's really good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fucking amazing.
It's like really good.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman, I'm doing a chef's kiss. A chef's kiss to Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
Beautiful man. What a beautiful man. I would let him go because he's pretty.
Cool.
Nonetheless,
okay, Batman.
You call me Batman whenever you want. Nonetheless, that is going to do it for this week. If you made it this far, about a mile, thank you so much for listening. Pretty please, with a cherry on top, give us a review or star rating on iTunes. It's very nice of you to do those kinds of things. And if you enjoyed what you heard, let someone know about us with your mouth or with your mouse.
Yes.
We release episodes weekly on Sundays, but not really, because I forgot to change this one. So we're going to try and do it bi-weekly.
But you can just subscribe, and then, when it pops up, and you're excited, and you're like, woo, new episode.
I mean, honestly, sometimes being erratic is better.
Yeah.
Like, as long as we keep doing it, it'll be like, oh, this thing, and we become more special in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so subscribe, and that's fun. And review, and do all those kinds of things that YouTubers always ask you to do. But we're not YouTubers, so it's not annoying. Valuable content. Sorry, I had to say
valuable.
That. I got my alarm just now on my phone that tells me to take out the trash.
Nice.
Just wanted everyone
Take it out, Jack.
Everyone's
take out the trash.
Sorry. But you can subscribe on many podcast apps. Did you know that, Samantha?
I did not.
Which ones can they subscribe on?
Ones like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play Music.
Okay. Do I need a thread and bobbin to use Stitcher?
No.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Whichever podcast app you prefer, though, we're on a lot of them. We've got you
covered.
Thank you. You can also find web archives of all our previous episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com. Actually, I never said, I don't think, is this episode 89?
Damn.
It's a lot.
Cool.
We're almost we're getting to 100.
Yeah.
We should do a giveaway.
Okay, cool.
We should totally do one. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
We do like a whole thing.
Yeah, thing.
I don't know. We should have like a Twitter voting to see what we should give away. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I said nonetheless 3 times in the last minute. Sorry. Web archives at comicscovered.libsyn.com and on our YouTube channel. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook under the handle at comicscovered. I promise we're going to be posting more in the future.
Yes, because I'll be taking over that.
Yes, because she's better at it. If you want to get a hold of us, though, with a question or feedback, send us a message on social media or email to comicscovered@gmail.com. Thank you again for listening. I am Jicka Jack.
Okay.
That's my, Jicka.
Uh-huh.
Jicka Jack.
I'm just Samantha. I'm just me.
You're just you?
I'm just me.
Just me.
Yeah.
And this has been Comics Covered. Thank you.